The Quarry is a new game from the creators of Until Dawn, and combines their love of several different movies, such as The Howling, Friday the 13th, and even Pumpkinhead, all in one game about a group of camp counselors who have to hang back for one more night after the last day of camp, only of course something is in the woods and appears to have an appetite for partying young people. I'm so used to these kinds of horror films either taking place before camp begins or during, so I admire one that's set after summer camp season has already come and gone. The game uses a lot of elements like quick time events, searching, making dialogue choices, and it is fairly easy. The only way I could possibly mess up these quick time events is if I happen to be taking a bite out of a sandwich or something when it comes on screen, but even then, there was still plenty of time for me to pick up the remote and hit the button. As for picking the character's reaction, you get to know enough about the characters pretty early on to get a good gauge of what their most realistic reaction would be, or what I think it would be, or what I would personally say or do. It is a very good collection of solid characters, all of whom certainly playing types, but they do it well, and there wasn't anyone that I hated seeing on screen. I could have used a lot more David Arquette, Shaye, and Lance Henriksen, but there are some standouts here. Ted Raimi in particular is great in this, and I was loving every time he was on screen. Justice Smith is a good straight man against the other partying counselors, and Brenda Song has a lot of badass moments in it. You get to know and like them so well that it honestly is sad if you make the wrong decision, which gets one of them killed. At one point my wife was like, "Oh no, you should go back and do that again." And I was like, no, this is the path we have chosen. There are some funny bits in it, like text will come on screen stating obvious things like, "Ryan is intrigued, Max is disappointed." It was close to going into George is getting upset territory. When the group was standing there and there'd be a random subtitle under them that said, "Shocked," I was wondering if they were deliberately trying to make meme images of this. There are some flaws to it. Like I said, it is extremely easy, and there's a lot of long stretches without gameplay, to the point to where it often feels more like an interactive movie, which is fine because it's an entertaining one. Some lines aren't great, like there's one too many times they'll say too on the nose lines, like "this is just like a movie," or "ever see Evil Dead?" The musical score is good. There's some sound-alike moments that feel like a throwback to Friday the 13th or A Nightmare on Elm Street. Then there's some soundtrack choices that are just odd. Some of it feels like it should be in a YA drama or a trailer, like using bummer version cover songs. It does play the Monkees' Daydream Believer in one scene though, and that worked. With it being very choose-your-own-adventure, there's hundreds of ways you can go, and in mine, story-wise, I was never quite sure why they'd even make a camp here. And it is a plot where simply being a little more urgent or specific from Ted Raimi and David Arquette's characters could have stopped all of this from escalating. It was a little glitchy, but nothing that ever affected the gameplay, just like the water or glass shattering looking weird, or lines accidentally repeating after a cut. There's one part where a song was playing, but it kept freezing, yet the song was still playing, so when the song was over, the scenes just kept going, but silently. Overall, it was a fun sit. If you liked Until Dawn, you'll like this. It feels like the spiritual successor, which is what they're advertising it as. The moods are about the same, the character dynamics are similar, and you've got Grace ZABRISKIE in a pretty similar role to Peter Stormare's. I'll give it a B, but it's a really good B. It's flawed, but was a fun way to spend our day. Let me know what you thought of the game below, and if you went through the whole game making the characters say the asshole responses. That's always fun to hear about, and we'll see you next time.